The leak no one could find. No alarms went off. No servers were breached. No doors were forced. No passwords were cracked. Yet classified intelligence, the most sensitive material inside the Pentagon, was appearing outside secure channels, perfectly intact, perfectly timed. At first, analysts assumed coincidence, then pattern, then panic. The leaked information wasn't broad, it was precise. Operational timelines, strategic briefings, counterintelligence movements. Details that only a handful of people could access. And every time the leaks occurred, they were already obsolete, as if someone was staying one step ahead. The internal investigation began quietly, because if the truth leaked publicly, confidence in the entire defense system would collapse overnight. The theory no one wanted. There were only two possibilities: either the most advanced intelligence system on Earth had been compromised, or someone inside the building was feeding information directly. The second option was worse, much worse. A mole inside the Pentagon meant trust itself had been weaponized, a perfect access profile. Investigators narrowed the list, not generals, not political appointees. The leaks weren't loud enough for that. They came from mid-level analysts, people who sat quietly in briefings, people no one noticed, people who stayed late. One internal memo summarized it coldly. The source demonstrates operational awareness without triggering surveillance indicators. Which meant one thing: the mole knew how investigations worked. The first mistake. Then something unexpected happened. A false document was planted, harmless on the surface, unique in its phrasing. Only 6 people had access. 3 days later, that exact phrasing appeared in a foreign intelligence report. The room went silent. The mole was real, and they were inside the circle. Psychological profile. Behavioral analysts were brought in. They didn't look for ideology. They looked for patience. This wasn't desperation. This wasn't money. This was discipline. The mole didn't overreach. It didn't rush. They leaked only what was necessary, enough to shift outcomes, never enough to expose themselves. One analyst said quietly, "This person isn't stealing information. They're curating it." The shadow years. A deeper review revealed something disturbing. The leaks weren't new. They went back years. Subtle, almost invisible. Decisions that failed mysteriously. Operations that were anticipated. Moves countered before execution. All explained away as coincidence. Until now. The mole hadn't just infiltrated the Pentagon. They had grown inside it. The warning before the task force could expand. A message appeared on a secure internal channel. No sender ID. No traceable origin, just one sentence. "You're looking in the wrong place." The room froze. That message was never supposed to be possible. It meant the mole wasn't just observing, they were watching the investigators. And they wanted to be seen. End of part 1. The investigation had officially become compromised. Trust was gone. Every conversation was suspect. Every silence meant something. Part 2. The one who never moved after the message appeared. "You're looking in the wrong placey." The investigation stopped pretending it was secret. It wasn't. The mole knew. Every analyst was now a suspect. Every conversation assumed compromised. Every report rewritten twice. The task force made a decision most agencies avoid. They stopped expanding. They shrunk. Only 4 people were allowed to continue. No phones, no personal devices, no digital notes. Everything handwritten. Everything burned after review. And still, the leaks continued. The pattern that shouldn't exist. A junior counterintelligence officer noticed something strange. The leaks didn't correlate with access logs. They correlated with meetings, not what was shared digitally. What was spoken. That meant the mole wasn't hacking. They were present, listening, remembering. Audio surveillance was impossible inside secure rooms, so investigators did the next best thing. They watched behavior. Who took notes? Who didn't? Who asked clarifying questions? Who never asked anything? One profile stood out. The quiet constant, the analyst had been there for years. Never promoted, never disciplined, never transferred, always present. They weren't remarkable. That was the problem. While others rotated roles, this person stayed exactly where they were, a permanent fixture. Their evaluations were perfect. Too perfect. They volunteered for nothing, avoided attention, left no digital footprint. One behavioral specialist wrote, "The absence of ambition can be camouflage." The test. Investigators planted a final trap, not a document, a conversation. A fake operational concern was casually mentioned during a secure briefing. No details, just enough to spark interest. Within 48 hours, a foreign intelligence unit shifted posture. The response matched the fake concern exactly. There was no doubt now. The mole had been in the room, the confrontation. There was no dramatic arrest, no handcuffs, no accusations. The analyst was invited to a meeting. 4 people, 1 room, no windows. The lead investigator spoke calmly. "You've been protecting us from mistakes we didn't know we were making." The analyst didn't deny it. They didn't confess either. They simply asked, "Do you know how many disasters never happened?" Silence followed, the motive no one expected. The mole wasn't loyal to a foreign power. They weren't selling secrets. They weren't sabotaging. They were balancing. They leaked selectively only when decisions would escalate conflict. Only when outcomes would spiral. They fed just enough information to slow things down. The analyst said, "Every system needs friction. You removed it." They believed absolute secrecy had made leadership reckless, and someone had to intervene through impossible choice. Arresting the mole would expose everything, not just the leaks, but the prevented wars, the stopped operations, the decisions never made. Prosecuting them meant admitting that the system had been vulnerable for years. Letting them go meant accepting that an individual had overridden authority. The room understood the truth. There was no clean ending. The final move, the analyst was reassigned, not fired, not arrested, reassigned to a role with no access, no briefings, no rooms. Officially, the case was closed. Unofficially, it was buried. The final report ended with one sentence: no further action required. Epilogue. The question that lingers. Years later, intelligence failures became rarer. Not non-existent, but rarer. Some wondered why. Others preferred not to ask, because the most unsettling possibility remained that the mole was never a traitor, never a hero, just someone who decided. The system couldn't be trusted with its own power, and the most dangerous question of all lingered in silence. What if they were right?